welcome back, my darlings, my beautiful collective. You caught me just in the nick of time. So this is going to be our Oracle Tarot combo for today. For the Oracle portion, we're going to be using the Messages of Life. And for the Tarot, we're going to use Druidcraft Tarot. Okay, we have our first card, our starting point. This is Step by Step. I think it's like what? The old New Kids on the Block song? Step by Step. You know, I think that kind of comes to mind. Maybe the lyrics for that are important. I'm going to have to check that out in the editing and see if anything pops up, and I will flash it here if it does. All right, step by step. Today, I practice patience. I allow time to fulfill my goals. I understand the wisdom in letting go of control. Yeah, I know that the true value of each situation lies in its creation rather than its end result. Therefore, I allow my life to unfold step by step, inhabiting each moment to the fullest, knowing that my soul is forever rising higher and higher to embrace the light. So that is our first card. What is next? What is the next message on the journey for today? Remain in the light. So often we may be tempted by the darkness. Some of us marry and divorce the darkness. That's for another story. Today I absorb. I can't even talk. Today I observe. I take time to think calmly and wisely, and I go forward with complete confidence, knowing I will succeed. Obviously, that was back in a time when my intuition was not working correctly, or when I was ignoring it. No matter what happens today, I will remain in the light. I will maintain my faith and my equilibrium. In this way, I nurture my soul and become a strong and steady representative of the light. And so we do, right? Peace, love, and light these days. Trusting. Okay. So today I trust in God. No matter what happens as my day unfolds, I will remember to remain in harmony. I will maintain my sense of humor, and I will keep my focus on God's love for me. In these ways, I will minimize drama and increase my inner spiritual strength. How many of us need that increase of spiritual strength these days, huh? Absolutely. Okay, what else? Crossing into the light. Well, we have a lot of light messages for today, huh? Today I face a new bridge that I must cross on my journey to inner transformation. Today, like every day, I will practice the laws of universal love. Thus, I will deal with the current situation in a positive way so that I continue to grow and evolve. As I cross this bridge on my way towards the light, I am reminded of the true meaning of life. And so we are. Okay, let's pull maybe one more. Here we go. And the bottom of the deck, shall we? Okay. Beyond. Okay. Today I lift my consciousness above all worldly illusions. I remember the power I have in every situation. I always have a choice in how I respond. Today I choose to turn my thoughts towards God. By focusing on my awareness beyond the illusions of the material world, I experience simplicity and peace. And our last one, it says live for love, right? Today I put love into everything that I do. It is love that gives life to all things, and I open my heart to this great power. I act gently, and I speak with kindness. I fill each thought with love and light. I love God and all beings everywhere. I live for love. I love myself. Self-love is incredibly important, especially on this journey, which can be fraught with trials and tribulations. It is a test of courage and strength. Not the kind of strength that, Hercules may have had in order to shoulder, half of the Parthenon or whatever kind of physical strength we're talking about. But it is that fortitude, that resilience, the inner strength, the strength of endurance and perseverance, right? That's the kind of strength that we're talking about. So necessary to cultivate that, because sometimes it does feel like the world is on our shoulders. Let's grab the tarot deck. This is the Druid Craft Tarot deck, and we're asking angels, ancestors, and guides, what do we need to know about today? I got to be careful with this deck a little bit, because sometimes it's a little too free with the imagery, and there should be some things left to the imagination. I promise you won't shock this Sagittarius. It's more for, maintaining guidelines and appropriateness. Right? Okay. So, well, now, let us see what we have for today's reading. Our starting energy, so this is going to be a Celtic cross, how fitting, since we're using the Druid craft. Our starting energy is the Queen of Cups, feminine water energy. This could be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. It doesn't have to be sun, could be moon or rising. So feminine water energy, or feminine emotional energy, right? Are we open to receive? This is kind of what this is, receiving love or receiving emotions here. Interesting that they have the moon. She has a foot in the water. Okay, again, indicative of emotions. The full moon talks about sometimes release or letting go, or something that could be hidden. So there may be this energy of receiving hidden emotions or love. Next we have, in this deck it's called the Princess of Pentacles, but it essentially would be the Page. The Page of Pentacles, pages are students, right? And often they talk about either messages that are coming forward, or they can talk about learning, right? Studying something. Well, what do the Pentacles represent? The Pentacles represent, it can represent money, finances. It can represent on-the-job training, as it were, apprenticeship. It can represent, it can represent something tangible like that. As far as if you're studying something, it could represent like an apprenticeship. The Pentacles also represent things that are tangible. So this can be a relationship. This can be a job. This can be also health. Health is represented by the Pentacles as well. It also can represent manifestations and desires, right? Whatever comes into your physical reality. So it's about opening up ourselves to love. That's that starting energy. And the potential or challenge is, are you seeing the signs of this? Or are you open to receiving an offer of this, right? An offer, perhaps, of love. Interesting. We have a few cards coming out for the focus on. So we have Princess of Swords. We have the High Priestess. And we have the High Priest. Interesting. So our focus on is the Princess of Swords. This would again be the Page of Swords. So pages can represent, like we just said, either messengers or messages. So this would be a message about what? The swords represent communication or thought. Okay, so we may be learning a lesson here. This can also be analyzing something. This can also be a delayed message. This can also be, for others, I mean, this is collective, so take it as it resonates. This can also represent analysis, learning something, studying this thought or communication, okay? It can also represent truth, receiving truth or clarity, or a bit of truth, a kernel of truth, a nugget of truth, using the page as a quantity, right? But what's interesting is we have High Priestess and the Hierophant, the High Priest. So this is a spiritual connection. I feel like you're learning truths about a spiritual connection here. The High Priest, okay, or the Hierophant, we're talking about masculine, the sacred divine masculine, and the High Priestess, the sacred divine feminine. So the Hierophant represents a demonstration of the divine or going to the next level. It can represent society. It could represent law, formal things, process, ostentatiousness. You know, it is a public show of something. Whereas the divine feminine represents the sacred but mysterious, like being initiated into the sacred rites. Not everyone gets a chance to see what this is. This is more mystical. Think Oracle of Delphi, right? They were privy to information from beyond. And it wasn't always, they had their moment where they did like a public show of, you know, having her seated on the throne as she received these messages. But the whole process was a bit mysterious, was it not? And that's what these rites are with the divine feminine. So there is also a message of equal counterparts here, right? We talked about the sacred divine masculine, the sacred divine feminine. So I feel like there is a bit of learning that's going on here. Are you open to receive learning about the divine masculine and the divine feminine here? All right, what is our strength position? I feel like that was a quite the bit of explanation there. Hopefully I didn't lose you along the way. So we have to focus on this spiritual connection. And I feel like each to their own part, right? The divine feminine has her part to play, just as the divine masculine has his part to play. But let us see where we're going. Okay, well, wow. We have a lot. Let's see what we have. Our strength position is this. I feel like in the strength position, there's going to be a shift, okay? Whatever's happening here, there is a sudden and unexpected change. So that's with the Tower. The Tower represents a shakeup from the status quo, a sudden and unexpected change. Then we have the Knight of Swords. This is action that's coming in that is kind of quick in nature, and it is like it is something that's just going to move the process along. It's just going to be like, okay, we're doing this. But I also feel with the strength position as well, we have the Nine of Swords and we have the Fool. While all of this is happening, I feel like the Nine of Swords is a bit of this energy of worry or anxiety, right? This is maybe even not able to sleep, maybe an interrupted sleep patterns. But then you also have the Fool. The Fool is talking about a brand new start. So I feel like there is so much energy wrapped up here. Like there is going to be this quick start that moves this, whatever this is, along. And it is going to cause chaos. It's going to cause a bit of anxiety or worry. But nevertheless, I feel like there is this element of needing to trust in a higher power or purpose. Where have we come from? What is our recent past? The recent past is the King of Swords. A lot of things can be, the King of Swords brings up a lot of possible meanings. The King of Swords can represent someone who may have been a bit dispassionate about whatever this is, perhaps a connection. Someone who has been either closed off or silent, but maybe now ready to speak their piece, maybe now ready to make a decision, right? It's someone who's given a lot of thought into whatever this is as well. The King of Swords, masculine air energy, so this can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doesn't have to be sun, could be moon or rising or another prominent placement. But whatever this is, that king is very logical minded. Think chess, not checkers, right? This is your military strategist guy. This can also represent someone who is very learned or wise. Maybe like someone who's had a lot of education, a doctor, a scientist, someone who is a PhD or something of that nature, right? So let us see what our near future is. Okay, so the near future we have Queen of Pentacles, feminine earth energy. This is stable energy. This often represents something like wifey material. This is someone who is very compassionate, kind, caring, supportive, nurturing. This is someone who can stand well on her own, doesn't need the assistance of anyone, but is willing to pour into her family, her home, right? A very nurturing and loving energy. And then we have Two of Wands, and we also have the Prince of Cups. So this would be here, forward movement. So someone sees this Queen of Pentacles and probably has been looking at her, studying her for quite some time. And it doesn't have to be her. Keep in mind, this is energy, not gender. And I feel like now, with the Two of Wands, they're making a decision, whoever this is. I feel like it's probably this King of Swords energy. He's been pondering what to do. And now he's ready to make a decision. What decision is he going to make? Prince of Cups, this would be the Knight of Cups. So wanting to extend an offer of love. So I feel like someone is going to be coming in the near future to extend an offer of love to this Queen of Pentacles. The suggested approach, the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups talks about nostalgia. It talks about looking back. There may be some kind of familiarity between these two parties. This may have been a relationship, and even getting or maybe even a connection that never really fully matured or materialized. So if you were in this quasi-connection, you felt spellbound by this person, but you never really officially dated, that might be a bit more of added confirmation here. So what is the suggested approach when it comes up as the Six of Cups? It can be a wish fulfillment. It can be focusing on that. But it can also be an apology. Because that Six of Cups, sometimes, when we look back, not all the time is it good, right? Sometimes we may need an apology to move forward, or we may need to even forgive ourselves for the parts that we played in this. So what do we need to know? What we need to know is Nine of Wands. There is this energy of feeling hurt or wounded. This is the card for the wounded warrior. The Nine of Wands talks about the energy of perseverance and persistence as well. While this person on the card has been through battle and has been hurt, he still has the audacity to pick up that wand and to defend himself and those that he cares about with every last breath. He's exhausted, or she, and they are hoping that this is going to be the last battle. But even if it is not, there is this determination in their eyes. But also, with the wounding, a bit of vulnerability here, right? A bit of hope that things go well. a bit of a risk that they may lose it all, right? But it's also paired with both the Sun and the Six of Wands. The Sun and the Six of Wands are two cards of victory. So the Sun card is bringing clarity and illumination, and the Six of Wands is bringing public viewing or public knowledge, bringing something out in the open. Again, both of these cards mean victory and success. So whatever this is, it looks like victory and success is on the horizon. What is the hope and or fear? Wow, we have 3, don't we? Okay, so the hope and or fear. 7 of Cups is about a decision, okay? Or a dream, wishful thinking, a desire. It can be this energy of waiting for the opportune moment. Ace of Swords. This is about a brand new beginning when it comes to truth or clarity. And then this one is the Temperance card, which talks about balance and healing, being restored. So the hope and or fear is that there is this wish for balance. Someone is waiting for an opportunity to speak their truth and to hopefully correct a wrong, perhaps apologize, and have a new shot at whatever this is. What is the probable outcome? Okay. The probable outcome is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups talks about there's not enough of whatever this is. If this was a previous connection, right, then there is this taste of wanting more. There's not enough. There's this thirst or hunger for more. We also have, I can't show all of this, but rebirth. So this would be judgment. I feel like because the situation has stayed in limbo, that Four of Cups, for so long, now there's a judgment card. There is this plea to the universe. Give me a final answer. And what is the final answer? We have, this card says the Lady, which is the Empress, and the Ten of Cups. I feel like there's a divine feminine who's finally stepped into her full power as Empress. And she's birthing a whole new cycle. And this new cycle is one of fertility and blessings and abundance. And it will bring with it, Ten of Cups, total emotional fulfillment. I feel like that is for the divine feminine's patience here. The energy at the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Cups. This is wish fulfillment. You are getting what you've asked for. Are you brave enough now to receive it? This kind of takes us back to the very beginning. Are you willing to put that faith and that trust? I feel like at the heart of this reading was learning a lesson of opening your heart to this. Is your heart truly open to receive what you've worked your ass off for the blessings that are to come? Peace, love, and light.